The following is a presentation of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, Sleeman Breweries proudly presents the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Hello once again, everybody. Andrew Rogers here, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. This is episode number 6. As always, our podcasts are sponsored by Sleeman Breweries. It's great to have them on board, and we appreciate their sponsorship for this podcast. It's great to be back with you guys once again. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've seen the viewership numbers, guys, on the podcast from YouTube, and they've been excellent, guys. Honestly, for me, coming back, I didn't really know what to expect. I know I had a lot of love and support the last year when I was doing these podcasts, and that was wonderful. Didn't know how it'd work out coming back after leaving, and it's been nothing but love and support, and I really do appreciate it. I've also really enjoyed doing the hockey games on Sportify. Those have been excellent. Like riding a bike, just getting back on and going to work essentially. But no, nothing but love and support, and I appreciate everything and all the nice comments and everything that's been said. So thank you very much, and thank you for continued support of me and the Western Ontario Super Hockey League as well. A lot to get to, guys, on this Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Got a couple of really great guests lined up on this week's episode. From the Stratford Fighting Irish, assistant captain number 10, Graham Brulotte, and also from the Donnelly Flames, the captain, Chris Donnelly. We'll get to those in a little bit. As always, as we always do, we tend to save those for the second half of the podcast, essentially, or, well, the latter bit of it. Anyway, but first, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to recap our week that was. We have some highlight packs to show you, 4 of them in total out of the 6 games this past weekend. And we also have a video highlight pack from 509 Sports Online. Their game of the week was in Stratford between the Tillsonburg Thunder and Stratford Fighting Irish, so we'll feature their highlight pack as well. Really appreciate Darren Stevenson and his team at 509 Sports Online for all that they do, and we're really grateful to be partnered alongside them. On the other side of the highlight pack, so I'll make sure to go through with you the standings update, our leading scorers update as well, and give you an idea of the schedule this upcoming Halloween weekend in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. A lot of games there all over the place, and we had some good ones though, and without further ado, we're going to get right into those. Our weekend recap right here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast presented by Sleeman Breweries. Our first result is from the Stratford Jets and the Tilbury Bluebirds from the Gemini Sportsplex. Stratford defeating the Tilbury Bluebirds 8-4. That hands the Bluebirds their first loss. They fall to 4-1, while the Stratford Jets even their record at 2-2. For the visiting Bluebirds, leading the way there, Dylan Donnelly, 2 goals for him. They also had singles from Zach Bedard and Mitchell Van Teeling as well. For the home Stratford Jets, big contributions all over. Mike Mandarelli had 2 goals. Wes Baker, 2 goals and 3 assists, a big 5-point night for him. Andrew Secco with a goal and an assist. Stephen Hillier with a goal and an assist, as well as Brandon Buck. He had a goal and 2 assists on the evening as well for the Jets. Plenty of contributions all over the place. Starting netminder for the Jets that gets the win is Josh Diamond. He stops 22 of 26, while Ryan Polidori on the other end stops 32 of 40 for the loss on the Tilbury Bluebirds side of things. It's the 0-3 Donnelly Flames paying a visit to the Elora and District Community Center to take on the 3-0 Elora Rocks this past Friday night. 2 minutes into the first, Flames netminder Rain Stedman tested early. Nice save to keep the game scoreless. Not long after, it's Rock's goaltender Anthony Marshall getting in on the act. Brutal turnover creates a few chances, both denied by Marshall. Still no score. 7 minutes to play now. Another odd man rush for Elora. Puck over to number 9, Sean Pickering. His shot missing the net by a mile. It leads to a 2-on-1 for the Flames the other way, and it's Jacob Irwin who bangs in his own rebound. Flames are on the board first. It's 1-0. A minute later, puck back into the Flames zone. Stedman out to play it, puts it right onto the stick of Alex Utley. He sneaks it underneath the sprawling stick of Stedman, and we are tied at 1 at the break. Second period now, Delhi controlling in the Elora zone. Puck is centered to Brady Vandermeeren. He rings it off the iron. We are still tied at 1. Couple minutes later, Elora shorthanded, but it's another giveaway from Stedman. This time the initial shot sneaks through, but neither Stedman or Josh Sleegers can keep Spencer Gourlay from putting it in the net. It's 2-1 Elora. Delhi trying to respond on the power play, but as the penalty expires, Elora brings the puck up 3-on-1. This time it's Brett McInerney scorching it past the glove-hand side of Stedman. It's now 3-1 Elora. 5.5 into period 2. Flames respond here. Puck is picked up by Brady Vandermeeren. He snipes it bar down behind Marshall. Elora's lead is now down to 1. It's 3-2. Minute later, another Delhi rush 3-on-2. They give the puck away, however. Pass brings Brock Holzer on the breakaway. 2 huge stops, though, by Ryan Stedman to keep the Flames within 1. Halfway through period 2, offensive zone faceoff for the Flames. Point shot is going to be denied by Marshall, and it's Yanni Skropoulos with an unbelievable pass to Sean Pickering. He goes 5-0 on Stedman to restore the 2-goal lead for the Rocks. Off the ensuing faceoff, it goes from bad to worse. Initial shot by Ty Campbell is stopped by Stedman, allowing the juicy rebound to be buried by Sean Pickering, who scores 2 goals in a matter of 6 seconds to make it a 5-2 game for Elora. Under 2 to play. This time Marshall's going to make the save again and start the play. Skropoulos again throwing it ahead to Zach Cameron. Sweet move by Cameron to beat Stedman short-handed. He makes it 6-2 Elora heading into period number 3. In the third, Delhi trying to make a comeback in the game, but Marshall of Elora quickly stuffing those plans. His best save of the night coming here. Marshall also getting some help from the post as seen here to keep the score at 6-2 Elora. Less than 2 to play, and Elora caps off the scoring. Watch the bouncing puck off the stick of Chad Herron, off the glass to the front of the net, and it finds its way in. That makes it 7-2 Rocks at that point, and it would be your final score. Elora improves to 4-0, while Delhi falls to 0-4.
Off to Stratford for our game of the week in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. The hometown Irish shooting for a victory. They were hosting the Tillsonburg Thunder at the Allman Arena. Opening period, it's the visitors striking first. The puck bounces to Braden Roberts, and he puts it in. Roberts opens the scoring. 1-0 Thunder, and they keep coming. 3 minutes later, Curtis Christo coming in over to Chris McGuffin, and he buries it. McGuffin giving his team a 2-goal advantage. Later in the period, Mike Rebry grabs it. He finds Matt Weston in front, and it's another goal for the Thunder. Nice setup by Tillsonburg. They are up 3-0 after 20 minutes. Second period, more Thunder offense. The feed for Chris McGuffin, and he's got another one. McGuffin with his second marker of the night. It's 4-0 Tillsonburg. The Irish now trying to get something going. The puck is bouncing around in front. Graham Brulotte is there, and he slams it in. Brulotte getting Stratford on the board. Then it's a good rush from Brody Smith. He speeds in and sets up Cooper Leach. Here come the Irish. They now trail by 3. It's 5-2. Later, it's a shorthanded chance for Brock Trickolo. He comes in and puts it in. Trickolo with a shorty, and we've got ourselves a game. It's 5-3 Thunder after 40 minutes. Let's move to the third, and the comeback continues. The puck goes to Ray Robbins, and he scores. The Stratford captain makes it a 1-goal game. It's 5-4. Later from the face-off, look out, Maverick Petrie and Mike Rebry dropping the mitts. We've got ourselves a scrap. Both players get 5 minutes for fighting after a spirited tilt. A little later, this is Mitch Green going to the net, and he's got a goal. Green crashing into Zach Weir after the goal. 6-4 Thunder, and this play seals it. The puck goes off the boards to Curtis Christo, and he scores the final goal of the day. The Thunder pick up a win on the road. 7-4 is the final on Saturday afternoon.
Next up, it's the 2-2 Strathroy Jets into Alvinston from the BAICC complex to take on the 1-1 Alvinston Killer Bees. Pick this one up in the first period under 4 minutes to play. Strathroy power play. Initial shot is high and wide. It'll be picked up by Sean Arvai. He sets it over to Carson Moniz, who then returns it to Arvai. His shot takes a nasty deflection in front and past the helpless Nolan DeConing, and it's 1-0 Strathroy after 1 period of play. Second period now nearing the 6-minute mark, and it's the Jets striking again. This time, number 10, Wes Baker brings the puck down Broadway and goes high blocker for a beauty. It's 2-0 Jets. 2 minutes later, Jets looking for more. Mandarelli drops to Stephen Hillier. Hillier finds a wide open Matt LaBerge. He will sneak it under DeConing, and that makes it 3-0 Strathroy. Under 4 to play in the second period, it's Cameron Amos. He drops it to Justin McIntyre. His shot is stopped, but it's Amos burying the rebound. 4-0 Jets. Ensuing faceoff, Alvinston trying to get back in the hockey game. A slick move here by Carson Perry. Beautiful solo effort to put the Bees on the board. It's 4-1. Minute and a half to play now, and it's the Jets answering back. Number 2, Jake Alkins will beat DeConing just over the glove hand. That makes it 5-1 Jets heading into the third. Third period now, and what a doozy it was. 4 minutes in, Alvinston power play. Bailey Freifogel is going to take the pass and beat a screen Josh Diamond. That makes it 5-2 at that point. 2 minutes later, Jets respond. It's Wes Baker once again as he's going to poke the puck past DeConing while being hauled down. Everyone on the play would be okay after that highlight reel goal. Jets now lead is 6-2. 3 minutes later, another Killer Bees power play. Off the face-off, Bees control. Perry over to Robert McLean. Watch this pass to Freifogel. His second in 5 minutes makes it 6-3. Minute later, nearing the halfway point of the period, shot from the blue line finds its way to number 9, Dawson Winchester at the side of the net. He's got a tap in. It's a 2-goal deficit, 6-4 Strathroy. 3 minutes later, Bees man advantage once again. An incredible hand-eye coordination on this deflection from Josh Jameson. Bees are within 1. 2 minutes later, Alvinston power play, which was scorching in the game. This time, McLean leaves it for Perry, and the comeback is complete. Perry scores all even at 6. McLean, 4 assists on the night as we head to overtime for the first time in the WOSHL this season. Time the Jets survive against the dynamite and relentless Killer Bees squad. Wes Baker's second goal of the game is the winner. 7-6 Jets in overtime is the final. It's the 0-2 Aaron Blitz traveling to Tilbury to tangle with the 4-1 Tilbury Bluebirds, picking the action up here in the second period after teams traded a pair of goals in the first, with the score tied at 2. Seconds into the period, Bluebirds with the scoring chance, but Blitz netminder Stephen Horvat making a couple nice saves to keep the game tied. Later in the period, it's Aaron's turn at a scoring chance. Stretch pass to Houston Rosario. He gets hauled down, barreling into Bluebirds netminder Ryan Polidori. Both players would be okay. Aaron can't convert on the man advantage, and we're still tied at 2. 12 to play now in the period. Blitz on the attack here. Shot from Waxwell Lightfoot is going to go high and wide. Eventually it's going to find its way to Rosario with the tap in at the side of the net to give the Blitz a 3-2 lead. Still in the second, Tilbury looking to answer. It's Travis Winkworth with the shot, nicely denied by the glove hand of Horvat. Teams now at even strength. Bluebirds captain Dylan Donnelly starts the play up the ice. Shot will carry him off the end boards back to Donnelly, who flutters it over the sprawling Horvat. We're tied at 3. Face off now in the Aaron zone. Rosario is at it again. He steals the puck, racing in on the breakaway. He pops the water bottle over the blocker hand shoulder of Polidori, and the Blitz are in front again. It's 4-3. Less than a minute to go here in the second period, and it's the Tilbury Bluebirds catching a break. Puck is up in the air on the rebound, somehow finding its way into the back of the net. The Blitz are incensed by the call. However, it would stand. Game is tied at 4, heading into the third period. Started the third, now Tilbury wasting no time taking the lead back. Vyacheslav Chigrintsev takes a nice drop pass. His shot evades Horvat, making it 5-4 Bluebirds. A few minutes later, Blitz looking to respond. Solo rush here denied by the blocker hand of Polidori to keep the Bluebirds in front by 1. Tilbury responding a few minutes later. It's Travis Winkworth going to work. Beautiful individual effort as he finishes on the backhand. Beautiful goal from him, putting the Bluebirds up by 2 at 6-4. Bluebirds keep on coming. Watch this point shot take a crazy bounce off the glass and behind Horvat. It pops back in front through the crease to an untouched Chigrintsev, and it's now 7-4 Tilbury. Tilbury back on the power play here, still in the third. Point shot is going to come in off the stick of Tyler Lawrence, and Chigrintsev again with the hat-trick goal. Nice deflection there, makes it 8-4. Not to be outdone, however, the Bluebirds finishing off the scoring on the night. This time it's captain Dylan Donnelly recording the hat-trick as well. Nice finish off the feed from Mitch Van Teeling. 9-4 at that point, and that would be your final. Aaron falling to 0-3, while the Bluebirds improve to 5-1. 9-4 is the final. Our last result of the weekend comes in the form of the Delhi Flames home opener, a big victory for them over the Plattsville Lakers. It is their first victory in Delhi Flames history on their home opening night after going 0-4 to start the season. They will finally win one on home ice against the Plattsville Lakers. 5-1 was the final there. Plattsville falls 0-3, Delhi 1-4. For the Plattsville Lakers, the lone goal scored by Mitch Randall, assisted by Devin Rymarchuk. They unfortunately, that was all that they could muster up against Delhi, who got 5 different goal scorers on 5 goals. Wade Metz, Mason Cromwell, Nick Branderhorst, Zach Mahalis, and Clay Donnelly scoring for Delhi. Donnelly with a goal and an assist. Mike Stolar with 2 helpers. We had Chris Donnelly with an assist. He comes up on the podcast later here. Brendan Briggs with an assist, as well as Joshua Sligers with an assist. Starting in net for Delhi, Cody Odavashar. He stopped 37 of 38 for the victory. A big win for him. He was outstanding. Lane Timmons suffers the loss on the Plattsville side, stopping 31 of 36 and suffers the loss for Plattsville. Yeah, so that gives us our weekend wrap there, guys. Some great footage, some unbelievable plays, and unbelievable moments from this past weekend. But let's get you right into the standings update here as we have a look. We have a team up at the top there, and that's the Tilbury Bluebirds, who are 5-1. They've played 6 times more than any other team in WOSHL this season. They have 10 points, 2 better than the undefeated Elora Rocks. 4 games, 4 victories for them. Both Tilbury and Elora tied for goals for with 35. Laura with a plus-minus differential of 27 as they've won their first 4 out of the gate. Strathroy in the number 3 spot. They're 3-2, while Tillsonburg is 3-1. Both teams 6 points. Both teams with a goal differential of +6 as well. The Alvis Killer Bees hop into the number 5 spot after the overtime loss on Saturday as they go to 1-1-1. They have 3 points, a goal differential -1. The Stratford Fighting Irish, after falling to the Tillsonburg Thunder are 1 and 2. The Delhi Flames jump into number 7 spot, or tied for 6th, 1 and 4 with 2 points with Stratford. And then you have the Plattsville Lakers and the Aaron Blitz still looking for their first victories on the season. We take a look now. We shift our focus to the leading scorers update. Vyacheslav Chigrinsev of the Tilbury Bluebirds, a big weekend for him in 2 games. He has 17 points now on the year through 5 games, 7 goals, 10 assists. His teammate Dylan Donnelly, that line absolutely incredible. We have Donnelly leading all WOSHL scorers with 10 goals. He has 5 assists to go along with that for 15-2 behind Chigrinsev. Spencer Gorley of the Elora Rocks, good weekend for him. He had a goal and an assist on Friday. He has now 5 goals, 7 assists for 12 points. 3 more are tied at 9, 3 back of Gorley, Mitch Green, Wes Baker, and Mitchell Van Teeling, all with 9 points apiece. And then it's a little bit of a logjam. Chad Heron, Robert McLean, Brody Smith, and Mike Mandarelli, all tied at 8 points apiece for them. So yeah, guys, great weekend that was, and we have another weekend coming up here, Halloween weekend, and there are another slate of games on tap for us. And we'll start here. You got the Avals, the Killer Bees, into Strathroy on Friday to face off against the Jets. That one goes at 7:30 at the Gemini Sportsplex. Then at 8:30, it's the Aaron Blitz into Elora to take on the Elora Rocks. That one goes at 8:30, Friday, October the 28th. And then on Saturday, we have 3 games there. And we get underway at 4:30, Saturday, October 29th at the William Allman, the Stratford Fighting Irish hosting the Plattsville Lakers. At 6:30, the Tillsonburg Thunder travel to Alvinston to take on the Killer Bees. That one goes at 6:30 at the BAICC complex. The Tilbury Bluebirds are in the Delhi to take on the Delhi Flames. That one goes at 8 o'clock at the Delhi Arena. And then on Sunday, October the 30th, we have our final game of the weekend. That one goes from Plattsville at the Plattsville Arena. 3:30 start. The Elora Rocks are in town to take on the Plattsville Lakers. So yeah, guys, big weekend that was in the WOSHL this past weekend, and another one coming up by the sound of those slate of games. It's going to be absolutely great. That's the great thing about this Western Ontario Super Hockey League. It's a lot of great action all the time. Any team can win on any given night. Kudos to Delhi for showing us, giving us their first win on home ice. Like I say, they now are at 1 and 4, defeating Plattsville. Big win for them. But yeah, Plattsville and Aaron still nothing in the win column yet, but good things are coming. There's a long season underway. They still have 21 games apiece left, so it's lots of good things are coming for sure for those 2 respective franchises. But yeah, guys, without further ado, we're going to jump into our interviews today, and we got a couple of really good ones. From the Stratford Fighting Irish, number 10, Graham Brulotte. And then following that, we have our captain of the Delhi Flames, and that's number 16, Chris Donnelly. So we'll start with Graham Brulotte, and without further ado, here we go. All right, folks, here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, this is episode number 6. We are very, very pleased to be joined by one of the league's best ambassadors and a good friend of the show, if you will. He is the assistant captain of the Stratford Fighting Irish, number 10, Graham Brulotte. Graham, it's great to have you on here, pal. Thanks a lot for doing this again, and welcome back, pal.
What's going on, Raji? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure. It's always great to be able to talk with you, talk hockey, that sort of thing. So you're back again this year for year 2 for the Stratford Fighting Irish. You guys have played 3 games, 1 and 2 out of the gates. Just your thoughts on how the season has gone so far for you guys from your perspective.
Yeah, it's only just begun. I think it's a long road, but leaps and bounds of what we were last year ahead. We brought in a bunch of new guys that are definitely going to be helping us this season. I was away for the 1 game, so I can't speak on the game in Tilbury, but I think it's going to be a good season. I think we're a hardworking team, so I'm excited. Lots more excitement this year than last, for sure.
Yeah, and like I say, I know it's a small sample, and obviously that's understandable. The game against Tillsonburg, though, I mean, again, slow start. We were talking about that before we started here. Slow start, but you guys really battled and really put a lot of adversity on the table, and coming back the way you did, instead of letting the game get out of hand and being a higher score than it was. What was your takeaway from the game there, and how is it a learning experience moving forward for you guys?
Yeah, like I said, it's just early in the year. I think we kind of came out slow, a couple of bad bounces, but we have four lines that can score goals, and we have some solid D, some new D and big D that came in this year. So I think yeah, we're just gonna learn as a team, and Pi's got his methods that he teaches us, and we're just trying to implement that into the game. I think if we play that game later on in the season, we'll win that game for sure.
Yeah, like I say, still early on, lots of learning opportunities there, no question. But yeah, and the other takeaway from the Tilsburg game, and I commented this on a lot on the broadcast, but boy, did Matt Sagrad have your number. Like, man, oh man, if you didn't hit the post like on the one there late, again, like he just seemed to always be in the right spot at the right time. How frustrating was that for you?
It was more just funny. Obviously, I was frustrated. I got one early in the game, and he made a really good save on me with his paddle,
Yeah.
which should have been in. So
Yeah.
I dragged it in after. But yeah, I think he saved me like four gifts with his right pad. I should have had maybe like five goals, but I'll get him next time, I think.
Did you know him like beforehand? Like, because I know you guys were chuckling out there. I just wondered if maybe you knew him from beforehand or if it was just friendly competition at that point.
Just friendly competition. Yeah, I had no idea who he was, but I just told him that he had my number.
Oh, you
But
sure did.
in the last minutes there, I hit the post. I would have liked to have that one, but yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
look a couple more times, so maybe I can get a couple more by him.
Yeah, you could hear that one back in Tilsonburg.
Yeah.
No, but like I say, again, gritty effort from you guys to come back, and obviously it sucks that you fell short. But again, long season, 24 games. Last season for you, 12 games you got in, 23 points, a very impressive season by number statistics. But you leave to go to Germany with your former team in Germany. You had a great opportunity there that presented itself. Can you kind of briefly take me through what that was like for you, how that decision became, and what that whole experience was like going back last year?
Yeah, so I had two full seasons there in Germany, and then COVID kind of messed all that up. So I didn't end up going back. And that's the year that I think everybody didn't play hockey.
Right.
So then that September is when we our league started up, and I was playing with Pi and Stratford, and it was in the back of my mind. I knew that they wanted me to come back, but I started an apprenticeship as a plumber, so I knew I kind of had to stay close to home.
Mm-hmm.
But as the season moved forward, their interest was still there for me to go over. And the more I thought about it, it was more of a you kind of have to think about yourself before anybody else, right? And it was a good opportunity for me, and I could have brought a friend, which I did with who I brought Tanner.
Tanner,
And we had
right.
a great time, and my girlfriend came with us as well, and kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity, right, to go over there and play hockey and travel and yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, it was a really hard decision to make. I know I let the boys down a little bit, and that did hurt me, but I can't say that I regret it because I had a really good time.
Well, sure, and I completely understand and respect that coming from you. It shows that you have a human side instead of just being a hockey robot. But the thing that I'm wondering about too is like there's an adjustment to be made from playing the game up here to playing the game there, whether it be ice surface, whether it be speed of play, whatever you want to call it. Maybe too many advertisements. I don't know, but could you take me through what the adjustment was for you to go back, play there again where you've already played? So it's kind of like muscle memory, I guess, but then to come back and then play here again, like that's got to be a tough transition.
Yeah, going over there with my two seasons, I did have a good idea of what I was getting myself into, right? Maybe Tanner didn't, but it's more of a not fast pace, I should say, but it's the ice surface is huge over there, right? It's all
Right.
Olympic, so it is more of a skating game, and I think that plays good for me because I do like to skate with the puck and I like to open it up a bit, but um, not as much hitting overseas, and
Sure.
they do make a lot of calls, so you kind of had to watch yourself if you stepped out of line, you're definitely going to get a penalty, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is a different style of play, and I do realize that coming back to Canada and playing again because I still feel like I'm kind of maybe playing a different style of hockey when I should be playing the Canadian role that I've learned my whole life, you know?
Right. No, for sure. And you know what is interesting also? There seems to be this unique overseas flavor that's developing more in this league too. You see it with our leading point getter in Slava Chigrinsev out of Tilbury, who leads the league with 17 points in 5 games. He's unbelievable. But again, just that, like, I think that's really interesting about this league, that you have that opportunity to go overseas and play on different teams over there and really get those once in a lifetime opportunities, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. I think the league we have is, we got a good thing going, right? It's once you're done junior, there really isn't much for guys over here, and it does show that it can still produce good players, right? Like our goalie last year, Torch, he's with University of Windsor now, and Tanner's still overseas in Germany. I'm sure there's a lot more other guys on other teams that I'm not even touching on that have good opportunities just as well.
But yeah, it's like if it isn't even overseas, it's university play. You touched on that too. Like that's just so cool that guys have different opportunities to go and expand their hockey horizon in terms of their career. I think that's so cool. Let's go back here because this is a kind of interesting. You know, you spent 2 seasons with the St. Mary's Lincolns and then 2 more with Stratford Warriors. Great seasons, at least by numbers, and I'm sure lots of fond memories there. And then, like coming back and then playing at the Allman again as a member of the Irish, when you had probably so many fond memories of playing as a member of the Stratford Warriors as well, right?
Yeah, I all my junior hockey was up off Highway number 7, but yeah, St. Mary's was a good 2 years. We weren't the best. Our records can tell us that, but I got some good ice there. We didn't have many vets, so coming in as a rookie, we're looked to a lot, and I played there with a lot of good guys. And Granger, who's on my team in Stratford, he played there with me. And Obi, Sean O'Brien, I'm probably forgetting a couple more, but yeah, I enjoyed my time there. Looking back at the time, maybe not as much because we were getting spanked every game, but looking back, I did have some really good memories there. And then moving to Stratford, it was too bad I came the year just before that they won. I wanted to come there. I was trying to get a trade to go for a playoff run with them, but it never worked out. So I came the season after.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a really good team in our first year. A lot of good OAs down from London that I've grown up playing against and with, but just really couldn't pull it together. And then in my last year as an OA with Scanny, we had a really good year. Never really amounted to much. I think we made it to the second round, lost to Elmira, but yeah, I love playing in Stratford, and that's why I'm still there, right? Got a lot of friends and family up there, and I do love playing at the Allman. I think it's probably the best rink in all of Ontario, if not Canada, that small old barn.
Yeah, it's funny that you call it small because there's so much seating, it just makes it look huge, right? I mean, that's what's kind of funny about it in a sense. But yeah, great arena. I agree with you on that. It's quite a spectacle to be able to watch you guys do what you guys do on the ice. Now, part of this also for you that I find really interesting, and I like to touch on as well, you were named the first captain in Irish WOSHL history. No one could take that away from you. When you left to go back overseas last year, they passed that torch on to Ray Robbins for the remainder of the season. And of course, he resumes that role today. But you're an assistant captain as part of the leadership group. That comes with a certain responsibility. What does that mean to you when you hear your name and then part of a leadership group? And what kind of responsibility do you take upon yourself when it comes to being in that role?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think you just have to hold yourself accountable, right? Work hard in practice and bring it on game day. And yeah, I like to chat in the room, so I try to get the boys going, being an assistant. And I think Razor's a great captain. He leads by example. He's a good voice in the room, and I think you just go out and watch what he does. Obviously, you're gonna want to go out and battle for him, right? And it does mean a lot to wear an A, especially with the room that we have. We have a lot of good guys that are all candidates to wear a letter. So yeah, it does mean a lot for me.
And then, like as we were pointing out earlier, like you've had some new faces come in, and some that I've been really impressed with are Cooper Leach and Brody Smith. I mean, that line has just been incredible. They got off to a nice start against Delhi, put up some good numbers there. From your perspective, watching these guys play, how impressive do they look to you?
Yeah, those guys look like they played together for like 10 years, the way they've started. They have really good chemistry. I played with Brode a bit in junior, and he has a great shot. So if you get him the puck in the slot, it'll go in. And I've never got to play with Leach, but just looking at him these past few games, he's the real deal. So I'm happy that he's on my team, and I'm not playing against him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an absolute beast back there for sure. And then one thing I thought was interesting last year as well was that transition that O'Brien makes from forward to defense, and he seems to be a natural fit back there. Like, it's got to be good for you up on the front to be able to play alongside him and know that he's back there defending, because he's just such a natural athlete in any given position. I find that very impressive.
Yeah, Opes can play whatever he wants. He could throw the pads on if he wanted, but
well, let's not get that far, right?
Yeah, he's fun to play with because he's offensively minded, so he knows how to find you on the breakout and in the offensive zone. So it is fun. We got a lot of guys on this team that I enjoy playing with, and you can just create and just go out there and have fun and not have to play like such a sound structured game. You can just wheel around and good things will happen.
Absolutely. And yeah, so you guys are next up on the ice again in Stratford this upcoming Saturday. You play the Plattsville Lakers. That goes at 4:30 on the 29th there at the William Allman, of course. And again, for you guys, I mean, you know, when it comes to these new teams that are coming in this year, so you stretch from 5 teams last year to 9 this year. Is there a sense of excitement? I think when it comes to new teams, new faces, new challenges, when it comes to overall competitive balance throughout the league, is that something that pumps your veins, if you will?
Yeah, I think it's just the unknown, right? Like, I don't know anything about Plattsville going in, so you just got to go in and be ready. The same with Tilbury and Delhi before we played them. Like, you don't know what you're going to get, so you just got to go in and play hard, right? It is good for the league that we have expanded, and we're not going to play the same 5 teams over and over again like we did last year. So it is nice to kind of gap it out a bit.
Absolutely. And again, the ceiling's so high with this team. I think you guys are, again, 1-2 off to a kind of a rocky start, if you will. But I mean, there's a lot of season left, 24 games in a season. So you guys will definitely be able to turn that around. My last question to you, Graham. You're 24 years old. You played hockey for essentially your whole life at this point. What is it that keeps you coming back at this point in your hockey career? And what is it about this game that you love so much?
Oh, it's all I've known my whole life, but definitely just being in the room with the guys. I love going on the ice and having that compete, but just being around a good group of guys and just like the camaraderie and the friendships you make. I think that's the biggest thing. And a lot of my friends, pretty well all my friends, have came from the game of hockey, so I think that's what keeps me coming back is just and just love playing out the Willie. I can't stress that enough. So that's another thing.
Right on. Well, the fans appreciate you and definitely watch. I definitely enjoy watching you play and being able to call your games. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Things will the tide will turn. You guys will be all right. And I wish you the best of luck throughout the course of the rest of the season. We've been talking with the Stratford Fighting Irish's number 10, Graham Brulotte. Graham, it's been a pleasure, dude. Thanks for doing this. And we'll catch up with you throughout the season. Thanks so much, bud.
You're the man, Raj. Thanks, buddy.
All right, folks, we continue on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 6. We are very pleased at this time to introduce our next guest. He is the captain of the very new expansion Delhi Flames, Chris Donnelly. Chris, great to have you on here. Thanks a lot for coming on and doing this, and welcome to the podcast. Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to have me on.
In this whole thing with expansion, and anytime new teams come in, it can always go one of two ways. Obviously, Tilbury's playing really well, and we all know that. But you guys, stumble a little bit out of the gate. 1-4, not the greatest record that you could probably have to this point. How is the season going in your eyes so far, and what's this whole experience been like to this point?
I think it's been going okay, especially as a new team, just to watch our group kind of grow together and everybody start to gel. And yeah, I know, like you said, we started we're 1-4 right now, but getting that first win was pretty important for us. And sure, we were 0-3 or 0-3 at one point. And I think that we never really got too down on ourselves. We kind of felt pretty confident that it was going to come, it was going to happen, because every game we were building, we were getting better. And we just got to stay the course and just stay positive.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think there was a lot of positivity to be drawn from you guys this past weekend. And you could start with Friday's game against Elora, a powerhouse, former defending champs. I mean, 7-2 is the score, but you guys were right in it for most of the hockey game. Anyone who watched that game will tell you that exact thing. What was your takeaway from that? And then we'll get into the Plattsville game, and then your first win. So take us through Friday's game.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said there. We were hanging in there with them. It was 1-1 after one period there. I think that we kind of caught them off guard a little bit. I don't know if they really expected that from us, that kind of game. But we worked hard, and then we had a couple bad bounces go their way, and then the game kind of got away from us there. But I mean, we never quit once on that. We skated hard. We played hard. We gave them everything we had, and a couple nice comments from their coach after the game too, just talking about how hard we played, and we'll give a lot of teams a lot of problems if we keep playing like that.
Well, and that's it. Chris, this league is all about growth, buddy. And you got to grow from one game to the other and learn different things and figure out who you're going to be. And then obviously, yeah, you guys come back in a big way against Plattsville, earn your first win on home ice. That had to be a whirlwind experience for you.
Yeah, that felt awesome. Like I said, like that, just to do that for our ownership and our coaches and like just every player that's sitting beside you there. It felt good to get that win because we needed that at that point. We didn't have any wins, and just within our group, we knew that we wanted to get that win on home ice just to show everybody that we can play the game, like we belong here, type of deal. And like that was like a statement game for us.
And I thought there were plenty of good things to go around in that game as well against Plattsville. Cody was outstanding in the nets. I mean, he's been pretty spectacular for you guys. And again, probably deserve better fate in the first one where he faces almost 60 shots. But, for you guys to just, again, he had a great game, I thought, against Plattsville. And I mean, he's been pretty good for you guys.
Yeah, he's an awesome goaltender back there for us. He's a super positive guy too. Like, and that's another thing. Like, you want to win for that kind of guy when he's back there every time he's in the net. And I feel like we let him down in the season, like leading up to that game. We hadn't scored enough goals for him. We didn't help him out enough. We left him hang out to dry. So that game we tightened it up defensively, and we had his back there, and we just wanted to get a win for, get him a win under his belt so he can start feeling good about himself too.
Well, and mission accomplished there. And another thing that I think is pretty cool about you guys, you in particular, is that you get to play alongside your brother Clay. That's always kind of a neat thing that I think is anytime brothers get to play, it's quite a unique experience. Doesn't happen all the time, obviously. But what does it mean for you and him to be playing on the same team? Is that something you guys have even done before?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done that in like a competitive sense before. Like I think I'm 7 years older than him.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we haven't really had a chance to do that in our lives, like at a competitive level. So it's kind of nice, and the coach has got us playing on the same line too, which is kind of fun to just be out there and compete with him. And I set him up for his first goal there in the league, so that felt nice to get him that goal.
Did you rub it in his face a little bit too? Like, hey, you wouldn't have got that without me, buddy.
Yeah, I was giving him some chirps about how it took him 5 games to score too.
Well, and that was just it. Like, I mean, you wasted no time. The game against Stratford, I was there for the goal that you scored. Like, I remember calling it. It was just, I thought it was just an outstanding shot from you that ended up finding the back of the net, and then you take a wallop of a hit too. Like, I mean, I don't know how much more impressive it was than Clay's. I didn't get to see Clay's, but it's always, I think sibling rivalry is good for the game. I think it's good in terms of a team, and I think you guys can really push each other to play better. Am I right?
I totally agree. Like, there is like that rivalry, but like at the same time, we're on the same team. As long as he's doing good, then I'm happy, and sure it goes both ways, right? as long as we're both playing well.
Hey man, it builds character, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then so one of the other guys that I'm really good friends with is Mason Cromwell. We were talking a little bit before we started, and just how crucial he is to your team in terms of knowledge of this league. How has he been for you? Like, have you confided in him? We asked him lots of questions, like about what this league is all about.
Yeah, me and him talk a lot. Like, I do bounce some stuff off him, just me being the captain of the team. I'm not like a very like rah, like always loud in the change room type of leader. Like, I like to lead by example. And when something needs to be said, I'll say it. But we do speak. Like, we'll text too outside the locker room, me and Mason, and he's a great guy to have on the team. He's an awesome addition to the team, just to have. Just for everybody, not just myself, just everyone to bounce ideas off. And he's telling us how the league plays. He knows how each team likes to play, like from last year. So he's telling us before the game, giving us a little bit of a pre-scout on them. So he's an invaluable piece to the team.
Perfect. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. He's a great guy and just a wicked friend of the show. So it's great that
Yeah,
he's a
good
part of
player
your
too.
squad, and obviously hugely beneficial. Now again, you're the captain of this Delhi Flames team, the first in Delhi Flames WOSHL history. No one could take that away from you, and what an honor it is. Um, how did this whole process kind of come together for you? Like when it came to joining the Flames and then being named captain, were you surprised? Like how was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, you're always surprised when you're new to like a group or that, and then they ask you to be the team. But like I'm so proud that they asked me to do that, and I was very honored that they asked me to do that, just because I know what it means to be a captain, and I know that what that means that what they think of me. So that's obviously a big point there. But I ended up coming out to Delhi because I'm friends with Matt Sagra, who you had on last week, and we were always talking about just playing in the league and how fun it'd be to play together or play against each other. And it just so happens that Delhi is the closest place from my house to play. And then I reached out to Chris Longthorne, and the rest is history. And then I'm out there, came out and played.
And yeah, like they've done a very nice job over in Delhi as well. Like you said, with the management group, obviously getting the first win is huge for them. To know all that hard work is paying off, or at least moving in the right direction. How impressed with them and their job that they've done so far have you been?
Oh, it's nothing. You can't say enough about what they've done for us. They've been over the top. They've taken care of us on every level, like even just from practices and everything they do at the practice, then to the game level. And they painted our room up for us really nice before the game, which was a nice surprise to get there. And they've just taken care of everything for us. You can't, like I said, you can't say enough good things about those people.
Well, like I say, hard work and obviously to have it pay off, that's huge. And it's great to see. In terms of, like I say, familiarity is kind of interesting in this league. Lots of guys will have played with different players across the league. When you have 9 teams, there's lots of opportunities for that. Besides Matt, was there any sort of familiarity you had with this league or other players from last year, or was it all new to you?
There's like a couple guys that skated with in the summer just through other friends. Like Spencer Gurley was skated together in the summertime a couple times.
Great season. He's off to a great start.
Yeah, he's a good player. So yeah, he's gonna get his points regardless. But yeah, like just through a different friend group there, and just a couple other guys that are on Tilsonburg as well. Like we just skated together in the summertime, and Zach McQuaid, and yeah, like Matt Sagrat's a good buddy of mine, and he's doing really well this year so far. So hopefully when we play them, we get to put the puck in the net a couple times to get them and guess them and lower the stats.
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? Like friendly competition and just knowing who the other guys are on the other side. I think it just creates such a heightened experience and excitement to these games, and just having that rivalry. I think it's just so cool.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, like I said, I mean, Zach McQuaid, outstanding player there, lots of skill. Spencer Gourlay, another captain. He's the captain of the Allure Rocks. He's been there for a long time. I've had him on the podcast. Great individual there. In terms of like, okay, so how do you build off this win? I mean, without getting too much in your head about it, like, how do you want to see the rest of the season go from here? What is your hope? I guess maybe in the short term and in the long term.
Yeah, I think after that win there, I don't think we can get too high off that. I think that you just got to just put your next foot forward. Like we're playing Tilbury this weekend at home. First game of the season, they smacked us around 7-0 pretty good, and we kind of want to go out there. I'm not saying that we're going to beat them or anything like that, but that's obviously the goal every game you go out there. But just at least put up a respectable effort out there and just show them that we can actually play with them, right? Because 7-0 is a little bit embarrassing.
Well, I mean, it's no 16-3 or 15-2 or whichever. Yeah. But I mean, again, I think you guys, each game you got to grow, each game you got to improve. I mean, just from the small sample, I mean, yeah, you guys have played a few more games than everybody else. And to this point, I mean, Tilbury with the exception. However, like I said, I think you guys have come a long way from that first game, in which I think the score will be very much different, if I had to say so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree. Like our team is really starting to gel together. We're becoming a team, which is important. Everyone's pulling the rope the same way, and we all want the same end goal, which is to make the playoffs here at the end of the season. And I think a good goal for us would be just try to get to mid-pack and then the standings. Right, that top group's pretty solid there. They're all experienced teams, but I mean, if we can get mid-pack, I think that'd be a great end of the year goal for us.
Well, yeah, and like again, the whole difference this year, as opposed to the last 5 teams last year, 9 teams this year, there's a lot more, competitive balance. There's a lot more variations throughout the teams and the players. And I think that's going to be so exciting to watch throughout the course of the season. It's a long season too, 24 games, 1-4 start. No reason why you guys can't, get out of that hole very easily with so much hockey left. Speaking of that, what is it like? What is it about this game? Like, I mean, I'm not sure which kind of level you would have played at before. If there was a time when you weren't playing and then were convinced to come back into this league, that sort of thing. But what is it about this game that is just something you enjoy so much about it?
I just like competing and just being with the guys even after the game. Like, even after when we got smoked at Stratford, like it was still fun after the game just to hang out with the guys and be there. And like you miss that camaraderie when you're not playing at the high level. And I got 2 young kids now, so it's important for me. I want them to be able to watch me play hockey, and it's fun to see them up in the stands when we're playing. And you just like I don't know, I never lost that fire to compete.
And yeah, like, I mean, that's got to be so cool for you from a dad's perspective to be able to see your kids that are there watching you play. Like, is that like that feeling has to be kind of undescribable, but if you could describe it for us.
I guess the best way to describe it would be, I guess when you look at them, you'll find an extra level, right? Like, because you want to show, like, you just want to put your best foot forward for them. So you might not be feeling the best, you might be tired, you might be a little banged up, but like you're going to find another gear there because you don't want to let them down.
Yeah, I love that as a guy with kids as well, young kids, 6 and 4. Like I understand exactly what you mean. I can't play the level you are, no matter how hard I try, Chris. But that's just me being honest about that. And well, no one needs a video to support that. But anyways, now I could see some Leafs paraphernalia back there. I know we were talking about some merch that you do have. Big Leafs fan, from what I could tell. What are some of your fondest memories of being a Leaf fan? I mean, obviously as a fellow one, I understand a lot of heartbreak, no question. But in your time as a Leaf fan, what stands out for you the most in terms of a fond memory that you have?
Just going to Maple Leaf Gardens with my dad when I was a young kid, probably, and just being a young kid and meeting Felix Potvin down there and getting to see Matt Sundin and all those guys. Like, my favorite player is Doug Gilmour. So
same.
You get to see those guys. Yeah, that guy's one of the reasons I fell in love with hockey, just watching that guy play the game. So just getting to go to the game with like any young kid, like with your dad, like just getting to spend some time at the arena with your dad.
No, absolutely, and no better place than the hallowed and cherished Maple Leaf Gardens. They'll be starting to call you Chris Killer Donnelly, right? Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad.
Did you tuck your jersey in the back too to make yourself look bigger too? No,
I might have to start doing it.
Yeah, I know. Actually, one of my most cherished possessions. I went down to BMO Field for Leafs and Red Wings alumni for the Centennial Classic outdoor game.
Nice.
At BMO, and I was there the day before for the alumni game, and I happened to get Gilmour's autograph on one of the Gilmour jersey I do have, and it's probably one of my most cherished possessions. I mean, again, watching him play is just, again, he's such a tenacious player. Obviously, his wraparound goal against Cujo against St. Louis will stand forever, and those memories of their playoff runs, even more like we're talking like late 90s, early 2000s, like that time was just a heightened time to be a Leaf fan.
Oh yeah. We need to get back to that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Hopefully, again, for you guys, Delhi 1-4, there's a lot of season left. I know you guys could turn around, and I have every faith in that. And like you said before, you guys are at home again this upcoming Saturday on the 29th, where you host the Tilbury Bluebirds, and it should be a great one at the Delhi Arena. Chris, this has been an absolute pleasure, dude. It's been great talking with you. Best of luck the rest of the way, and I know we'll catch up again soon, but I really appreciate stopping in and doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anytime you want to talk, we appreciate the time, appreciate giving some love to Delhi and our ownership, and Chris and Shannon and Doug Cooper, our coach, and everybody. We're going to just try to keep this thing going here.
Right on. Well said. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Back here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, Andrew Rogers, your host. Thank you very much for tuning in for all of it up to this point. We'd like to thank Sleeman Breweries, our sponsor of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Thank you very much for them. We also want to thank Graham Brulotte and Chris Donnelly for being our guests on this week's edition of the podcast. I also want to thank you, the viewers, for continuing to watch and support this podcast and myself and the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Thank you so much, and for your continued support and admiration of what we do and what we are. So thank you very much for that. Just to recap, guys, on what's coming up this weekend: Alvinston in Strathroy on Friday, October the 28th, 7:30 start from the Gemini Sportsplex. You got the Aaron Blitz into Elora to face the Elora Rocks. That goes at 8:30. Elora and District Community Center. On Saturday, October 29th, 4:30, William Allman Memorial Arena, Stratford Fighting Irish hosting the Plattsville Lakers. Tillsonburg Thunder then travel to the BAICC complex to take on the Alvinston Killer Bees. That one goes at 6:30. Final game on Saturday, Tilbury Bluebirds into Delhi to face off against the Delhi Flames. That one goes at 8 o'clock. And then final game of the weekend, Elora Rocks into Plattsville to take on the Plattsville Lakers. 3:30 Sunday, October the 30th at the Plattsville Arena. Andrew Rogers, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, signing off. And this has been a great episode, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have putting it together. We'll see you guys again next week. Take care and be safe out there. Happy Halloween, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Take care.